How's it going, gamers? We got an interesting article here. Not article, but I guess you could say comment thread to talk about. And it's from the head of Bluepoint Games. Yeah, he gives his take on what happened. And the interesting thing is he lets you know how he feels and how he felt like he's been betrayed and kicked in the gut. He didn't see it coming. And there's some interesting stuff in it we're going to be reading about. Obviously, this has been a huge topic and obviously, Sony has been getting criticized big time. Definitely the CEO, Herman Host. As you guys know, I've done my video on it, my recent one. But him coming in and saying what he has to say is very interesting. Are you ready to get into this? Because we got some stuff to talk about depending on what he says. Now, IGN posted something. Roughly 70 employees, right, were impacted. And going down here, Emrys says, "You've been a lot of inspiration for me, I had hoped." Unless we got more replies, we can start back on. He says, "X needs a sad emoji. All the rest don't reflect how I feel." Right? This was what he said. And they're gonna get to something else down there. So if you click on this, he basically saying he's let down here, right? X needs a sad emoji. All the rest don't reflect how I feel. 93 people came in and liked it, but it doesn't in here. We got a lot to talk about here. So obviously, yeah, there's a low morale standpoint there because they feel like they've probably done enough. They built 15 years with them. It's not something to really, take well. Emmer says, "You've been a lot of inspiration for me. I had hoped to join y'all there at Bluepoint one day, possibly, working on my master's in game design." Cheers, man. Hopefully you get somewhere. "Now that dream is gone. I hope your next path is wonderful and takes you to great places. Good luck." Nice words here, right? And he's like, "Not sure how to respond. I would tell you to raise your dreams and aspirations. We will be fine." Because if you guys don't know, there's people already trying to hire them right now, which is actually pretty interesting. There's some post up for that. "Wish you the best. And what I know is that this industry is small. So who knows, right?" And that was the reply between that aspect right there. So going down, you'll basically see more comments here, and that's just that part. You got to get to the right stuff because you know how this stuff can be, right? So now, here's the interesting thing, guys. You can go down and read some of these comments if you want, but this is where this post starts. Now, going back even more, I know, and you're like, "Damn, man, how does this go?" Now you got to click on this next. And what's his face says, "WTF, their SOTC and Demon Souls remakes are fantastic works to admire. Shadow of the Colossus in this era of remake remasters. This is so dumb if true. Peter Dalton, is this legit?" Because he knows Peter Dalton. As you see right here, husband, father, and head of technology at Bluepoint Games. Demon Souls, all that. This is the guy. He says, "Unfortunately, Bluepoint's time is over." Let's go ahead and click on this, guys. "Bluepoint's time is over. It has been a great studio with an abundance of talent. Right now, I feel like I've been kicked in the gut, but on to better things." This is one of the highlight comments that had 100,000 views. Man, I know he was glad people saw that. Just get things out. 1.1K, as you saw, I liked it as well. I saw it. I'm like, damn. He basically said it right here. Their time is over with Sony. And I think if you had some positions waiting on them, you would have probably tried to find that. But I think these guys are ready to move on. Like he said, it's been a great studio with an abundance of talent. Right now, he feels like he's been kicked in the gut. So this right here basically says a lot because I don't know if they were even able to get to the next game after being put on the God of War live service Gas Rush title, which I still think is a moronic idea. Like, God of War live service, what are we doing here? It doesn't make any sense to me, right? Wasted potential, just like Naughty Dog's live service game, which could have actually been good, got canceled. It's like, yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, I don't know what to say, but he says it right here. He feels betrayed big time. That's not a light statement. A lot of people see it as 100,000. And going down to SDET, Neela V, however, I don't know what that means. That Neela, I don't know, says, "I'm out of words for this. I know very well the industry is under quite harsh standards these days, but still, you guys have deserved so much better with such passion you put into your projects. I'll closely follow and support whatever you guys do next. Cheer up, Peter." And then coming down here, they posted a lot of this. basically showing Bluepoint's legacy. You guys know, 92 meta, 92 meta. It's not like they developed these games, but they still did a really good job of making sure they retained that quality. God of War Collection, 91 meta. Flower, if you guys didn't know about that, that was a good game. 91 Shadow of Colossus, 91 Metal Gear Solid, 89 Uncharted, Nathan's Drake Collection, 86, and Gravity Rush Remaster, 80. So obviously the original devs get their work for this because that's what their games hit. And then they came in to make sure that quality was there. They did a good job with that. So their remake quality standards are really good. And that's the thing when people are like, man, these guys, like, where do they really mess up? No, you messed up by putting them on a gas rush title. So it's not their fault that that happened. Sure, I mean, you weren't able to make the God of War live service what it is, but why would you put a remake team on that anyways? This is what I still don't understand. So after that was posted, Peter Dalton says, for years, our current and future success focused on doing a quality job. We live by the idea that you are only as good as your last project. We fought hard to survive. I've learned so much during my time at Bluepoint, including the lessons that business comes first. So you see what he just said. So you can do all of that, but because there was a business aspect that got messed up, we're getting shut down. He's making that quite clear. And the idea you're only as good as your last project, I can understand that because you got to be given something. So where are you at from a meta peak standpoint? This is why we wanted to uphold our quality. I know exactly what he means by that. So Shinobi comes out and says, so sorry, Peter, you and your team did amazing work. I hope everyone lands on their feet. And obviously there's a lot of comments down here. So clicking on this, Momo says, I really hope that the company saves Bluepoint Games the same way Tango Gameworks was saved from closure. Or some company. That's going to be the case. Look, this is what I think, guys. They're in Austin, Texas, so is Retro Studios. Nintendo does not close down studios. You see what I mean? Retro's still there. I think, if anything, because they have experience with Nintendo before this, they should go get hired and work with Retro Studios. And work with Nintendo and do some remakes there. I don't trust Microsoft doing anything. I don't, you know what I mean? If you left Sony too, it's like, you got these people coming in too, like saying, oh, you should go to Microsoft. You try to act like they're better. Are you kidding me? It's the worst over there. Everything has tanked down. No, the only company that does that, unless it's a company outside of this first party publishers, is Nintendo, because they take care of the developers. They put you there first. It's not just all about business. They've made sacrifices, as we see, and they hardly ever, you don't historically ever see them lay off. They make you better by working with them. Sony has a knack for doing that too, but with Herman Host at the head, it's like, no, man, and Jim Ryan, they just do not do a good job. So I think, if anything, they should go with Nintendo. Do Metroid Prime 1 and 2 remake. You see what I mean? Not 1, but 2 and 3 remake. Do Metroid Prime Trilogy remake. You could do fine, and those will sell, and you will get more sales over there than you will with PlayStation. They did all those games, but they didn't sell that much. Nintendo platform games sell. I think they can do a really good job with Nintendo. So if Nintendo does not get them, get with a company you know you could trust, that you could do very well with. Because they're so talented, there's people that are already trying to hire them. You guys don't know about that. ASDF says, yeah, if only Sony leadership understood that part of the business is also appealing to the core fan base. They haven't learned anything from the failure of Concord. Yeah, making a God of War live service game was the most stupid decision ever. Exactly. I mean, it's absolutely dumb. Like, so, I mean, we get the highlight right here. He says he's feel like he's been kicked in the gut. So, I mean, guys, we got some more answers on this right here. And I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. What do you want to add into this? Leave a comment as usual. As you know, I'm always finding the good stuff over here. And like I said, you got to go back through this a little bit to get down to what he says. And then John Bender says something to him. Peter Dalton, one question. Santa Monica Studio just announced the God of War 1 to 3 remakes. Are you guys at Bluepoint the main dev team behind these remakes, or are you doing some other stuff? And he's like, I wish. Remember, they had the other God of War collection, so they didn't choose them for that. That's something different. Then we got Demon's Revival, how we've faked the volume on 2D sprites, the whole setup in 1 minute. And Peter Dalton's like, thanks for sharing. So he's sitting over here actually replying to people, right? Then we have, they're just 2D sprites, but we're faking volumes with a small trick using normal maps. Look how the lighting brings out the shape. Nice addition. How are you building your normal map? So he's still coming down, socializing, and coming down here. He says, yes, at Bluepoint, we have a proprietary engine, having remastered multiple games that ignore delta time. Fixing this is one of the first steps. Demon Souls was an example of ignoring time, which is why slowdowns felt so bad. No compensation. Shadow of the Colossus was also interesting. 90% of the gameplay animation playback uses 87% delta time scaler. It is like at the end of a production, they needed to slow everything down. I found this near the end of the remaster stages, ensuring gameplay matched the original. So he's giving people ideas how stuff was working over here at Bluepoint. And then we got agree, but you still need to define which layers should not be paused, stuff like that. He says you are absolutely correct. In our game engine, we layer delta time, unmodified GUI gameplay rendering, then pass the correct time into the correct methods. Also allows for easy adjustment, so only a handful of game object, slow-mo, or other type artifacts. I've been following a lot of indie game development lately. I love seeing what 1 to 10 people teams can create. I love the inspiration. Really beats the default political post. If you have a dev blog or making a game, I love seeing the process. Keep sharing. If I make an indie game with friends and use AI for coding, does that count as using AI and the game should be blacklisted? Is using AI just an issue with textures? What if I call it vibe texturing? Is that acceptable? Seriously confused, or is all AI unacceptable? It's interesting. So we see some stuff going down here in some of his posts from a while ago. But yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. We pretty much got some insight looks at the head of Bluepoint Games, what he thinks, what he thought about, how he felt what this happened. I want you guys to let me know what you think. Obviously, like I said, you can go take a look around at certain posts on Twitter. There's people trying to hire them. I don't know if I put it in my likes or not. Yeah, right here. Here we go. By Pirate Nation. CI Games trying to hire Bluepoint devs after Sony shut down the studio. As we see right here, Lords of the Fallen reposted. Merrick right here, Tominsky, says, we'd like to invite any developers impacted at Bluepoint Games to contact us. careers@cigames.com. The Demon's Souls remake was an incredible achievement, and we'd be honored to speak with the talented people behind it about opportunities on Lords of the Fallen 2 and beyond. We have multiple roles available, including some not yet listed on our website. If this speaks to you or someone you know, please reach out today. We'd love to hear from you and explore how your skills could help shape our next chapter. So here's the thing, like, this gives you the idea that it's not going to just be here. A lot of people are going to try to get them because they see their talent, and everybody wants quality developers inside of their team. They're obviously not the mega corp giant companies, you know, like Sony and Microsoft and stuff. So yeah, I mean, this just gives you guys another idea. They're going to be fine. They're going to get hired. So Sony is the one that's losing out. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Peace out. Keep gaming. Hopefully they get in a really good position. I think they will. Later.